Hello, MP DeVille here, entrepreneur, self-published author, life igniter. So, I have been trying to get this video out all morning. I did a really great one this morning and it crashed. Oh my God. And that's because I think this message needs to be said and heard. So, anyhow, guys, aside from all of the rigmarole that's been going on in society regarding uh, the men in blue, um, let's focus on the rigmarole that's been going on within our own culture. I found it to be very appalling and disgraceful and upsetting that I recently watched a video that was at the Waffle House, and it involved uh, women and men fighting each other. I mean, fighting each other, guys. Hold on, I gotta clean my glasses. I mean, women and men fighting each other to shit. I can't even explain to the what, but it was just so awful that grown men would be wholeheartedly pounding a woman. Women would be fighting women, cursing each other out, and doing just all sorts of nonsense. And I just kind of compared that and thought about that situation. And then I thought about the young girl that just got murdered, Michaela, if I'm not mistaken, her name is. And realized that her altercation also was a result of women wanting to, or well, girls rather, young girls having an issue with each other and wanting to fight it out. And I talk about this all the time. Many of you don't know, but I write about generational curses and dysfunction and how they inhibit themselves in our families and how they eventually perpetuate themselves and repeat themselves from one generation to the next generation. So when I say generational cycles and curses and things of this nature, and you compare it with the young girls and the grown women and men fighting each other, it just makes me want to remind people that for many of us, we have some unresolved issues, some underlying issues, some inner issues that we have not dealt with. Some things that may have happened to us while we were children, things that may have happened to us while we were in relationships with other people, things that we may have seen during our upbringing. All sorts of things can cause people to have bitterness and anxiety and anger and insecurity and dysfunction, and all of that balled up into one will eventually explode. So I just wonder what's going on with so many of us that we would get so angry and so upset and so violent where we would want to go fight other folk. And when I saw that video of the man fighting the woman, I mean, hard down throwing jabs at a woman, and she had already fallen to the floor. But all the women were doing it to each other as well. And it just broke my heart because I'm saying, what causes this much anxiety and hurt and violence that you would want to inflict this on to someone else? And I just think about how so many of our families grew up watching this. So many of our families grew up in these types of environment. And in turn, we grow up to be dysfunctional adults the same way we grew up in dysfunctional households. And these were grown folk. Micaiah and her group were young folk. So basically, it's young folk watching old folk continue cycles of dysfunction, which is leading them to commit the same types of dysfunction amongst themselves and within their own families. So I'm saying all that to say, people, we have to become more self aware of our actions, our thoughts, our anxiety, our stress levels, so forth and so on. We have to do a lot of introspection within ourselves to understand why we are doing what we are doing, even as adults. Sometimes a lot of us don't like to face the truth. A lot of us just don't want to hear that we are effed up. But until you are able to rectify with that, do some introspection, and become more self aware, we're going to continue to be effed up. And we're going to carry it here and here and here and here and here. And it's just repetitive. So, saying all that to say, I write about generational cycles. I have an ebook you can feel free to download at your leisure. I also have a How to Resolve Generational Dysfunction course. And you can also check my link for that. I am here to help people, allow people to know that I too grew up very dysfunctionally, but I learned what it was. I did a course about it, and now I just simply want to share it with you. So if you want it, get it while it's on sale. $27. Save your family. Okay?